Always.
And I don't know why somebody from Bass Pro hasn't called us yet to jump on board.
That's a good thought.
I mean, that's a layup.
Yeah, what are y'all doing?
I'm working on that right now as we speak.
Yeah, what are they doing?
So,
nothing.
Let's go. Our demo is perfect.
You think,
right?
I could probably get Santa to come up here, honestly.
Instead of ordering online, we'll get people to go to Bass Pro.
Oh, look at there.
Okay. All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show. A couple different ways that you can get in touch with us. Let's drop this Lane Kiffin deal. The Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Twitter X at Bowbounds. And the Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer caller line, 601-707-3750. Michelob Ultra, cup of gumbo, and a shrimp po' boy at Martin's and Livingston for game day. That sounds good to me. All right, Lane was asked, how does he look at a job and consider it a good job? And this is what Lane Kiffin had to say.
I'm curious about is what are the aspects that make up a good job for a college head coach? What's the top of your priority list?
I wasn't ready for that one. I think that's evolved and changed, and there's different things in it. I've said to you guys a couple years ago, I think, and this was before Cap, but I said, I think that it's going to move to, people used to say, okay, when people wanted to hire you or something and interview and what questions do you have, what are your concerns? Okay, people used to say, facilities, how many practice fields, those things. And I said, I don't think, I think that's changed, it's going to change, and it's going to be how much NIL do you have, when it was all collective, how is your collective, how's it run, how much do you have? Because that's before this, that was the salary cap, meaning that's how much money you're going to have. And I know some people sometimes think, well, okay, that's not a big deal, but just look at professional sports when it's not the same, like baseball and the payrolls. And over time, who wins and who doesn't win. And somebody may have outlier years once in a while, but, and so now that's a little equaled out, but there's still, how much are you giving to Rev, to your football program, and then how much do you have collective wise? I think it's a big question, but people will talk about it's narrowed, like I heard Coach Saban say, and some stuff has narrowed, and as I've referred to, because you can't stockpile, at those, whatever blue bloods you want to call it or refer to it. But there's still things there that you're still going to struggle to beat those guys, because kids are still recruited and they see size of stadiums and tradition and Heisman's and national championships and then your location, to talent. So I think all those are in there, but it's slid a little time over, I think when that question probably early was that what is your assistant coach's pool? Now is what is your player pool?
How about that? That was Lane Kiffin describing a good job today in college football. Your reaction on the text line, 601-885-3776. He mentioned location of talent, stadium size, Heisman's.
Yeah.
Championships.
Florida.
Right. So this is a hell of a battle between Ole Miss and Florida. The NFL could get involved too, right? At any time over the next 6 weeks. And he's not the only one. Lane's not the only one in college. Texas may be, holding their breath on Steve Sarkisian.
They should anyway.
Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman. They may be going, stay away from our guy. And then Ron Day and Ohio State, Buckeye fans doing the same thing. Stay away from our guy. We know the New York Giants job is open. We know Jackson Dart's there. We had someone on our text line, one of our Ole Miss listeners said that Jackson Dart's dad's already reached out to Lane.
Oh, really?
I have no idea if that's true.
Oh, man,
but I love that kind of stuff on
That's
that.
Awesome. Because that matters.
That kind of fodder at happy hour in the neighborhood around the grill, at the deer camp, or at lunch today, or wherever in the hell you are. is
I
fantastic.
can buy that though.
You know, I heard that
I
so and so's dad. Da 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 da.
I almost have no doubt that either Dart or his father. I mean, more so likely Dart probably sent him maybe even send him just a GIF or a GIF, whatever it's called. Of maybe him scoring a touchdown in Ole Miss colors, or which is also the Giants colors,
Right?
Or see you in New York next year. I can see him dropping that and just getting out of the conversation completely. Not even having a
Maybe they're on a group text. Maybe it's Lane, Dart, and Dart's dad.
Well, you have to cater to him.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure.
Of course, Dart's mom is attractive. Maybe she's in the
There's a reason
in the
she's
deal.
not in the group text.
There you go. Wow. We'll leave
the-
that there, and we'll say good morning, welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The coaching carousel is driven by Fowler GMC. So, are you in the market for a GM or a truck or SUV? And of course, they've got GMC Sierra trucks, which are awesome. And Fowler GMC has what else? GMC Yukons. Great SUV. Fowler GMC, right there, Pearl Brandon. And the website is fowlergmc.com. FOWLER. Fowlergmc.com. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Just dropped some Lane Train audio. He actually went way more in depth than he had to. I mean, he could have really wrapped that up in 15 seconds. Instead, that was several minutes.
Yeah.
Of weighing in on what is considered a good job today. And he's right. How much NIL do you have? That is the number one question that everybody asks. And then you work back. I mean, Brian O'Connor asked that.
Yeah.
He was at Virginia. He asked Mississippi State, how much NIL do you have? And they said, as much as you need. So it is something to look at, right? The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Gumbo and Michelob Ultra. That's a winning combo. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
He walked out on that field, and it was like football Jesus had hit.
Who are we talking about there? Who's the best? Let's think about this. Who's the best quarterback in the Southeastern Conference right now? Today. What? Are you just going Diego? Are you going Ty Simpson? Trinidad?
I like
Gunnar
Ty.
Stockton?
No.
I think he's actually played well.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, he's not the best quarterback in the league.
Okay.
I mean, Talon.
Talon's unreal, but he doesn't have the things that other guys have that, supporting cast.
Yeah, Pavia over Simpson?
I got Simpson over Pavia.
Yeah, I might too. I don't know.
Okay.
I
love both. They're both totally different stylistically, even though Ty is mobile.
Yeah.
And Diego's forte is running the football, but he can throw it some too. There are certain spots on the field where he's a lot better throwing the football than others.
His forte
but that's okay.
Winning.
Yeah, that's right. He's just a winner. Sometimes it looks whatever, but he's a winner. Okay.
Are those the
Arch Manning? Marcel Reed?
There you go.
Yeah.
Marcel's played well. He's still real raw.
Who's your top? If you tiered it out, who would be the top tier? You go.
I think people would start with Ty Simpson and Diego,
and then it's
and then Marcel and Trinidad and Talon.
Under.
But I'd have Talon in the first group.
Same.
Just because of if you drop Talon at Georgia, it's over. It's over. There's no point in showing up. If you drop Talon at Texas A&M, it's over in the playoff. No point in showing up.
Probably would
But then
be as
Stockton, I mean, he just gets dubs.
Yeah.
He does, but Georgia does.
Sure. There is something to both.
Yeah.
He's a good player, and Georgia's got good players everywhere because we talked about their incredible freshman class that's hitting on all cylinders right now for them, which is
still
unbelievable.
It's nuts
when you look at it. And look, they got a big one this weekend. I know we wanted to write Texas off, but I think we've all watched enough college football this year to know that when a team is, within 7 points, even if they're the underdog, even if they're the underdog, they're about a touchdown, dog. You're like, dude, anything can happen. So Texas at Georgia this weekend, wild.
Do you expect it to be anywhere close? You do?
I think it could be close. Yeah, I do. Now, look, Arch is going to have to go over there.
Yeah.
And he has played some good football as of late.
It's true.
And he's going to have to make some plays for Texas. He is. Georgia's coming off a heck of a back-to-back weekends. They beat Florida and Mississippi State. They couldn't pull away from Florida, really, but they pulled away from Mississippi State late in the second quarter. They look like they're getting a little bit better every week. And they played some people. There are some teams in the league that really haven't played anybody.
It's true.
Yeah, Georgia has. I mean, look, man, they beat Bama. That's saying something. They beat Ole Miss.
They went on the road to Starkville. They beat.
They manhandled Mississippi State.
But I mean,
they still have the best wins, I guess.
Well, they got that good non-conference win.
Yeah.
And then Bama.
That's huge.
And then Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's big. They do have the best wins.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know.
Unnamed texter, Ole Miss hasn't played anyone. It's a soft schedule. It's one of the softer schedules in the SEC, no doubt. Ole Miss's best win is at Oklahoma.
That will remain. I mean, if they were to win out, would that remain?
That's it. At Oklahoma is their best win. Their second best win would be. Well, hold on. Let me think that through.
They're not. LSU's not even good.
LSU, yeah.
LSU
They're not even good.
at home.
But they manhandled Tulane
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
34-3, I believe it was.
Yeah, they blew them out.
That was early though.
It was early. It was September.
yeah, it was.
It was. So. Oh, Georgia lost to Bama. My bad, Josh.
Yeah, I was like, hold on now.
Why didn't you correct
Well,
me?
I was trying to think if I was right or not, which usually I.
So Bama has the best wins.
Yeah, Bama's got the best ups.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. But Georgia's got some good ones.
they're right beside it.
Okay. All right.
Dang, Bama's gonna win it all.
Not if they can't run I can't figure that out if they can't run the football. That's a weird thing to me. You're right. They're playing better.
They are.
They haven't lost in forever. They did go to Georgia and win. That is a huge win. Huge win. But if they can't run the football, maybe they can't. Maybe they can wind. They're going to leave everything. Can they be one-dimensional on offense and win it?
Surely not, right?
So
And I know they got weapons for days, by the way.
Yeah.
And Ty Simpson's spreading it all over the field to not just wide receivers, but tight ends.
He's pretty dang good. Everybody,
He stayed there forever.
Ever.
His dad went to Mississippi State, longtime coach at UT Martin.
Wow.
Jason Simpson. Yeah. I think he played for, did he play for Rocky? Or was on the team? I'll have to go back and look. But Simpson went to Mississippi State. He's been at UT Martin. Now, he may have been let go, but his son signed and stayed there forever without playing until this year.
Straight up. In the day of moving.
As a redshirt junior,
right.
I think he is playing. It's an impressive deal. And the fact that Alabama hadn't lost. We all decided Alabama was, I know they're not Bama of 6 years ago, but we all decided they're not good, and all they've done is win.
Yeah.
But so does Georgia. I mean, all right, look. Tennessee, they won by 3.
And by the way, that was in Knoxville.
Yeah.
And that's a good win.
That's a good win.
Going on the road to Rocky Top is a good win.
Lost by 3 to Alabama.
Right.
Okay.
Kentucky, 35-14.
Right.
Okay. The Auburn game, if we recall, on the goal line, you remember?
Yeah, the crap.
When the Auburn quarterback jumped over the line and
They
then they knocked.
fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20-10.
Oh, my God. Freezing
Florida
somebody coaching.
24-20, and then State 31-21. Georgia just gets the dubs. They don't care about the eye.
Well, Fat Jack Ross said they don't blow people out.
No, they don't.
So they do kind of just they go through the motion some, and then they'll have 3 or 4 possessions on both sides of the ball where they put the hammer down, impose their will, do what they need. They're efficient and clean, and then they're good.
Right.
Is that fair?
Oh, man. So is Freeze fired today if they don't make that terrible call and say that he fumbled the football on the goal line whenever it was clearly a touchdown? Because they were on pace to win that ball game, especially if they go up 3 scores. They were going to win that ball game. It was going to be 17-0.
Well,
And getting the ball back at half.
it was a disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah, it was.
He'd still have his job.
I'm not sure he was going to work anyway. I think between something happening and him not really getting up to speed and maybe his health, I don't know about the ins and outs of the testicular cancer, but I just don't know. I don't know. So, hey, Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered out of Houston, Texas, coming up next on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Beagle Bagel in Madison because they take care of us. They have a sandwich called the Big Joe. It's their French dip. It is amazing. If you haven't had it, you're missing out. Shout out to Mark and Sally. The Big Joe. It's their French dip. It is fabulous. Beagle Bagel in Madison. Jackson got him a blueberry muffin yesterday. So, place smells amazing every morning when you walk in. All the cinnamon rolls and fresh bagels and so on. So it's all good. Don't you think cold beer goes well with a French dip?
It's synonymous, right?
Yeah.
Supposed to be synonymous because French dips usually come with fries. Yeah,
I guess.
French dips, fries, and beer. That's a combo.
Okay. All right. We kind of had a couple of false starts here. We're trying to get on track. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, the Out of Bounds Show. How about Key City, Mississippi Queen with a French dip?
That's a move right there. Or the mango cart
Oh, that's your favorite.
in a funnel.
The golden. Let's ask our next guest. SEC Insider Hit today is brought to you by Total Transportation of Mississippi. All right, they're offering nationwide and regional routes for drivers. Competitive pay, monthly bonuses, great benefits, all powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi, offering nationwide and regional routes for solo and team drivers. TotalMS.com to apply today. You can apply right now, TotalMS.com. Total Transportation of Mississippi. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. We welcome in Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered, Houston Sports Talk Radio. And Cole Thompson, do you like a French dip sandwich?
Bo, you got to give me a little bit of warning before I ever come in on the conversation. Every single time, it's like something new that you guys are bringing up completely out of left field for sports. Yeah, I love a French dip.
Okay.
Made properly, it's got to be, number one, it has to be on a toasted baguette.
Yeah.
Just bottom line, no questions asked. And if I'm going to get a French dip, I might as well get some French onion soup next door to it. So that way I can use that as an au jus as much as the au jus.
I love it, and the au jus is so important. Okay, so also happy hour. Do you go to any happy hours in the greater Houston area?
When I was younger and I didn't have to work the afternoon show, yes, I did. But by the time I get done with the afternoon show, happy hour's over.
What time are you on Sports Talk Radio?
2 to 7 every single day.
Damn, man. You all do 5. That's like Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa and 109 The Game.
So we do 4 hours, and then we have a recap show leading into usually
Smart.
the sporting event. So I do the recap show while the two guys that I work with, they go home because they're the main host, and then I'm their associate producer and the permanent fill-in, and then I do the recap show to end the night. So,
Okay.
but that's only when we don't have Astros and Rockets games because we carry them as part of our partnership.
Oh, okay. So what do the Texans drive the train?
No, well, it depends. I mean, like right now, the Texans sitting at 4-5. You got a backup quarterback playing because of your dude got mollywopped by a Denver Broncos player. You had a 19-point comeback against a team that probably should have never even been considered a contender in the AFC. Like, yeah, I mean, it's driving, but I would say in this market more so having Kevin Durant back in the city for the first time as an actual Rocket, and the Astros, what they've been able to accomplish over the last decade, they really drive it when it's not the NFL season. When it's the NFL season, naturally, Houston is all about what's going on down on NRG.
Okay, so all right, college football-wise, who's getting more love right now, Texas A&M or the Texas Longhorns?
I would say the Texas Longhorns, but honestly, Bo, I think that both are warranted. You know, I think that when we have the conversation about what are we going to get from Texas A&M, what do they have to do to prove that they're the number 2 team? I mean, Lane Kiffin's going out here creating the own narrative on why Texas A&M should be number 1. I mean, you'd think that he wants the job out of College Station with how much he's provoking what that thing is going on. I don't think he's wrong, but the problem is that, like, I don't think that it really matters at this point because if it's going to solve itself out, think about it. If Texas A&M keeps winning, and Indiana keeps winning, and Ohio State keeps winning, they're all going to be 12-0. Well, Texas A&M doesn't have to face off against Indiana or Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They're going to have to face off against each other. If that ends up being the case, Texas A&M just needs to win the SEC, and they will move into the number 2 spot, if not the number 1 spot, depending on what the score differential is. So it's like I can't say that they're getting fair criticism or they're getting more favoritism because they look like the most complete team in the SEC, and the only thing that's standing in their way are 2 undefeated teams from the Big Ten, one of which was the reigning national champion that hasn't lost a game since last November when they dropped the ball against Michigan. So it's hard to go ahead and argue with that. And then Texas, the thing is, we know that the committee was going to say there were changes this year. They want to make it clear that we weren't going to follow the same method of just trusting what, the numbers say or looking at, what a stat box says. We actually want to watch the games. And Texas isn't being penalized for scheduling an out-of-conference matchup and losing by 7 points to the current number 1 team in the country. The problem is that if Texas was going to find itself ranked a little bit higher, it shouldn't have lost on the road to a Florida team that just found a way to crap the bed against Kentucky on Saturday.
Right.
And now is going to a new quarterback. So if you want to say which one is getting a little bit more favoritism, it would definitely be Texas, but can you really argue it? Because Texas has a top 10 win over Oklahoma in Red River. They have a top 10 win over Vanderbilt. They're still 4-0 in conference. They only have 1 loss in conference play, and they've won 4 straight, including 2 overtime wins against maybe Kentucky and Mississippi State aren't proven guys, but let's be real. We talk about this all the time. We gave them the benefit. We gave them flack last season for saying, you're no longer getting to play on the road in Ames and in Manhattan, Kansas. You're going to go to big boy country and play against teams like Lexington and Starkville, and that will eventually make you wake up on a Sunday in pain. They still won the football game, so if they win out, they're in the playoff. If not, if they lose one game, really if they lose this weekend, they're going to be out of the playoff conversation, and then we can start wondering, okay, who makes that next jump in?
You think, how do you see it? Does Texas have a real shot to go in there and upset Georgia this weekend?
Well, what's more true is going to be the big question, guys. Georgia's defense last week finally looked like the Georgia version of an old defense underneath Kirby Smart. They were great after that opening drive where Kamario Taylor rushes his way on into the end zone. They start figuring some things out. They get a couple of key stops. They get the big turnover on Blake Shapen. You get 3 sacks on the day. You have 8 tackles for loss. You're exceptional on third down. You take away Anthony Evans. You don't allow Brennan Thompson to have anything more than that one big-time catch. And so if that's the version of Georgia's defense that we're seeing at this point, no, Texas has no shot. But on the flip side, Texas's offense decided to find a spark really after getting midway through the third quarter against Mississippi State. It felt like, have you guys ever seen the movie Toy Story 3 where Lotso decides to hit reset on Buzz and he goes back to thinking that he's a space ranger? I feel like that was what happened with Arch Manning during the middle of one of the hits he took in the third quarter against Mississippi State. Like, they factory reset him to preseason expectations because ever since, he has been as advertised. He has 777 passing yards. He has a completion percentage around 68.2%, 7 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. He's only been sacked 1 time. He's added on another 85 yards with his legs. He's rushed in a touchdown. He's playing up to par. So the question is going to be, which one was fool's gold and which one is here to stay? Is it Texas's offense that finally has a spark, or is it Georgia's defense that did struggle to really start off games, but now has come back to life and put itself in a position to where they can trust both sides of the ball to get the job done? I lean, and it's crazy to say this because it never happens in Sanford Stadium, I lean that Texas's offense is legit, and they're going to march on in, and it will be a close call, but Texas will find a way to win this game and keep their playoff hopes alive one more week before they have to face off against Arkansas.
Wow. All right, so Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered, Houston, Texas Sports Talk Radio. He's calling for the upset.
I am, but just remind yourself, Bo, there's going to be a lot of people who call on in and say, oh, well, this kid, he's from Texas. Of course he's picking against the Dogs. Why would he pick against anybody else? I guarantee you that his company pays for the Longhorns, which we do. So, that's also kind of a thing to where it's like they'll throw that out there, too, and they'll say, oh, homerism at its finest.
That's okay. Everybody's biased. You're an Alabama guy.
I try my best, Bo, and I think I do a pretty good job of hiding the Bamarisms.
Okay, Who do you think is legit that can give me how many teams you believe in the SEC that can get all the way through the playoffs and win the national championship?
Gun to head today, one. I mean, don't get me wrong. Matchups are going to be really, really big because we saw that with Penn State last year and Notre Dame last year. But guaranteed, I think Texas A&M is the only one. You can put them in any bracket. You can put them against any opponent. I think that the way that they have looked, they will be able to get the job done. If you're asking me based off of numbers and who you think because of the certain matchups, I think 4. I think Alabama with the right matchups that struggles to be able to defend the pass because of it's a top 15 passing attack. The Crimson Tide absolutely can, but like people were talking about this rushing attack last week and like how embarrassing it was not to be able to run the football. Guys, let me bring you back down to earth real fast. Alabama has not been able to run the football all year. This is not unknown behavior. This is not something that we just figured out on a Saturday. We've known this for 11 weeks. And then you hear people go, well, if they just fix this, what's to fix? We're midway through November. You got 3 games left. This is who you are as a team.
No doubt.
That's it. This is who you are. Figure out how to work around it. And so if they face off against a team that is number 1 in pass coverage, like if they were to face off against Ohio State in the semifinals, I would lean Ohio State because Ohio State has the number 1 pass defense in the country, and they have a top 10 run defense. So how are you supposed to move the football on a team that knows how to defend the pass and doesn't let up on the run? And you can't run the football. I think Ole Miss has a very good overall identity of its roster. Offensively, the beauty about what is Trey Chambliss is not only is he mobile, he doesn't pinpoint one target. There's 5 guys currently on Ole Miss's roster with over 25 catches and over 400 receiving yards. And nobody has clearly separated themselves. Like Harrison Wallace, I think, has like 522 receiving yards. And the next guy right behind him is like at 482. So there's clearly a decisive mechanism of trusting what your eyes are telling you just to find the open target downfield. The problem is that if you go up against a high-tempo offense, I still think your defense allows far too many explosive plays, and that puts you in a position to where you eventually will be in a shootout, and if you have one bad drive, it may cost you. And we saw that against Georgia a couple weeks ago. I think Georgia, again, it comes back to what version of the defense are we seeing every single week? Is it the one from Mississippi State, or is it the one in the first quarter against Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Alabama? I think that when you look at a team like Texas, same kind of thing. Top 20 defense, underwhelming offense that may or may not be able to get it all together. And I think if Vanderbilt finds its way into the college football playoff, the bottom line is that they're a very high floor, low ceiling team. Probably you need to win every single battle, including time of possession, third down conversions, penalties, all the other little nooks and crannies, just to be able to make this a fight. And that's a fight, not even a win. Texas A&M, I don't have any questions about. I feel like that if you were to ask me right now how many could open field, 1. Certain matchups, I'll lean 3 or 4.
Okay. Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered, on the Out of Bounds show, driven by your next GMC Sierra truck at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon, FowlerGMC.com. All right, how much are y'all talking coaching the silly season and the coaching carousel as far as Florida and LSU and Auburn and Penn State Open and so on?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about it every single day. I'm trying to find out who's the next head coach that's going to be fired. I mean, I'm reaching out to people that I know in the industry for years that have a better gauge, and they'll let me know some names that, could be on the horizon, names that could be on the move, which could open up new jobs around the SEC. So, I mean, it's happening. Now, the big question is going to be, is there going to be another firing in the conference this year? Because I can almost guarantee there will be at least one other move made. Does that mean Ole Miss loses Lane Kiffin to Florida or to LSU? Does that mean Eli Drinkowitz leaves Columbia, Missouri to go to State College, Pennsylvania? Or does that mean Mark Stoops, who has kind of turned the tide a little bit with massive wins over the last 2 games with Auburn and with Florida, they play Tennessee Tech this week. Tennessee Tech's undefeated at the FCS level. It would be the most Kentucky thing of all Kentucky things to start giving a little bit of optimism, only to crash and burn against an FCS team.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. That would be so Mark Stoops.
So is he going to be back next year? So that's really been the big question right now. I believe we will see at least 5 head coach openings in the SEC, if not a 6th, that including Mark Stoops. it's really intriguing to see who are some names that you didn't think would be candidates for some schools that truly are. And you never know what to expect. It doesn't mean it's a finite deal, but you listen around the league, there's certain criteria that you have to meet that are non-negotiables for these programs. Some look at the program and they say, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to go near it. I don't want to be in that position. I'm in a great location right now. I can just ask for more money, and because of what I've been able to accomplish, they're going to write me a blank check. And then there's some others out there that you would think they would never, ever go be considered for that school. They're considered the front runner at some places.
Who do you think Lane Kiffin leaves?
I have been a very big proponent that if LSU gave him a phone call, if LSU gives anybody a phone call, not Lane Kiffin, but anybody, you don't turn it down. I think LSU is a premier job in college football. I think that LSU is one of these jobs that when you have it great, it could be the best in the sport because of you have all the resources, you have all of the recruiting assets to you. You can use the transfer portal as like a little hitch. People love the state. Every player that has ever grown up in Louisiana does not dream of playing in Tuscaloosa or in Athens. They dream of playing in Death Valley on Saturday night. Top 10 recruiting bed. But I think Lane's very happy at Oxford, and I don't think he leaves.
Okay.
I think that we're at this point in his tenure. Legacy is a really big deal to him. And I think that because of the passing of Monty, he started to look more so internally on how does he want to be remembered. And I think a lot of the things that people talk about with Monty is it wasn't the fact that he was always on the move. It was the fact that everywhere he went, he made an impact that was still synonymous at his funeral. And I think that Lane is enjoying life in Oxford. I think that having Landry around, having Layla move down there, his brother is on campus right now. They just built a house right outside of Oxford. His son Knox is killing it in high school. He's able to go be at his home games whenever whenever they have a home game, that matchup. He's in a good location when it comes to the board of directors. I understand the state laws of Mississippi when it comes to being able to afford a guy in a massive contract and what you can say out loud. So you can never give him a 13-year deal. But there's ways to work behind that. I think that when you just look at the numbers and how it's going to be 20 or 30 years from now, if Ole Miss continues to do what it's doing underneath Lane, it's going to be called Kiffin Field at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. There will be multiple buildings named after him inside of Oxford. There will be street names. Lane or Kiffin will be one of the most popular names in the Magnolia State for the next 5 or 10 years with boys because of everyone will just name their kid after the coach. I mean, that's what we're at. And then eventually, the way that we talk about Bear Bryant and DKR and Pete Carroll and Ara Parseghians and all these legends of the game of college football, they only became legends because they stayed put and turned the program that they were proud of into a legit force that never deteriorated. And I think that means something to Lane. He wants to be considered that. And he can be the reason why Ole Miss gets to that level. So I don't think he leaves. As much as I think that there will be a lot of people courting him with money, I think that he's content. I think he stays put.
Okay. What if the NFL calls, like the Giants with Dart or the Dolphins?
I will hang up this phone if you tell me one more time that the NFL is calling Lane Kiffin.
You don't think so?
If he goes to the New York Giants, I will drive my Happy Keister down to your studio. I will, on live air, because I know you guys live stream this, I will shave my head while eating a Carolina Reaper. He is not going to the NFL.
Really?
You have it on audio. Your entire audience heard it. I will gladly drive my way down to your studio. One day, I'll even take off work. I'll provide the Carolina Reaper. I'll shave my head. Now, if he goes to another college, that I won't do. But he is not going to the NFL. I understand there's a lot of people that want to go ahead and use the ties to Jackson Dart, but that ain't happening.
Okay. Do you think that Steve Sarkisian or Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame or Ron Day would entertain the NFL?
Ryan Day, maybe. And the reason I say maybe for him is because of, let's just say they lose to Michigan again this year, and he can't beat Michigan. Well, what's the good of having a national championship and winning multiple Big Ten titles and playing for multiple championships and putting yourself in a position where you can say, we own the Big Ten, when you still have fans saying, well, you can't beat Michigan, so you suck as a head coach. Like, what's the point of winning all these titles and losing one game when it's like, okay, well, I'm not viewed in a prominent light? So maybe if he were to lose to Michigan this year, but I personally don't think so. From what I've heard, Freeman would only entertain the offer of going to Ohio State or going to the NFL. It would have to be the right NFL location. He's not somebody who was just going to jump at the job like Nashville opens on up and Tennessee Titans are there. He's not leaving Notre Dame to go to a program that has no future and is constantly known for firing its coaches after 2 years. So, like, that would be something you have to look at. And I think that Steve Sarkisian, he's not at that level yet. I do think that eventually Steve will leave Austin for the NFL. Now, that's not me being an insider saying that I've heard these things and then Steve Sarkisian calling me out and saying he'd love to talk to me because I'm lying through my teeth, because I'm not reporting that at all. I just have a hunch that he's not done with college yet. He will eventually go to the NFL. It's just not going to be in 2026.
Okay. All right. I think any of those guys, if offered, are gone. I think if Sark's offered, the NFL is the Ritz-Carlton. And so I think if Sark, Marcus Freeman, Lane, if they're offered, they're gone. And so the Giants are opening up, the Dolphins and the Titans will. Maybe one of them gets an offer, maybe none of them do. But I don't think you can say no to the NFL and not having to worry about the portal and all that. But maybe I'm wrong. All right,
I would say no to the NFL. Me personally.
Really?
I'm a head coach in college football. But I'm also a sicko for the Saturday game. So I'm built different. Like, I like the NFL. I enjoy watching the NFL.
Sure.
I enjoy covering the NFL.
Right.
I am engulfed in college football. So when you're built from that cloth, it's a little bit different. But if you're not, yeah, I mean, money talks, and money certainly is going to talk to go to the NFL.
Okay. All right. Cole Thompson. This guy's on from 2 to 7. Houston, Texas Sports Talk Radio. That's incredible. And SEC Unfiltered joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right, so y'all just cut him off. He was saying bye. Cole Thompson on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by the Mississippi State University College of Business and their Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach. MSU's Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach strives to help students, faculty, and staff at Mississippi State University start and grow successful companies. Call and schedule a private tour of the Mississippi State University College of Business and see what Dean Scott Graw and the team are doing. And Dean Scott Graw has over 10 years in the private sector business and played college baseball for Iowa State. Business.msstate.edu.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Low Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Yeah, you damn right.
Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The show is brought to you by Fuse.cloud. Fuse.cloud. And that's who you need to call today, Fuse.cloud, Fuse. And they will manage your IT. Right? If you're a business owner, you know what a nightmare tech issues can be: slow computers, email problems, security scares, and nobody to call. Fuse.cloud is like having your own IT department without having to build one. Fuse.cloud, Fuse. Fuse.cloud. Call them today. Locally owned, but they do business all over the country. Managed IT, voice, and internet. All powered by Fuse.cloud, located right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Fuse, Fuse.cloud. We highly recommend them. Managed IT, voice, and internet. We're 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, and we'll look ahead to the weekend a little bit. What's your game of the week? Is it Texas at Georgia? Oklahoma at Bama? Well, I know Jackson's is Notre Dame at Pitt. God, that's where game day will be.
Why? When is that whole?
That'll be cold, I would think.
That's gonna be terribly cold. Does the Notre Dame thing ever die? No.
Oh
no. It's done deal. Yeah.
Hey, it's crazy to think, but that draw.
Well, no.
Now I don't know what their numbers look like for like 30, 35 and under.
Right.
But the 50, 55, and 60 and up demo in big markets,
strong,
Chicago and otherwise, are going to be a strong pull to Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
I think my people.
But between their sidewalk fans, street fans, and their alums, and then there's a Catholic following.
Right.
They've just got coast to coast.
Does the Catholic following that injection, does that make it to where they have the most street fans in the nation?
That's a good question. I would think they'd either yes or it's up there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know street fans college football wise. That's a great question. Notre Dame, Florida went through this run when they won under Spurrier and Urban.
Yeah.
Their sunshine, cool colors.
The Tebow religion deal sold really well.
And Spurrier throwing it all over the field when really very few teams did at that time in the 90s. I'd say Florida, it's unbelievable how many sidewalk fans they have. It's the Gator, maybe Gatorade, the blue and orange, the big winning from Spurrier and Urban. And
I guess Tebow, that hit deal happened right when like viral moments were actually starting to become a thing. So like you were seeing him a lot more, right?
We were about a decade to 15 years into the .com, and the social media was just kind of booming, and the message boards had been around for about
Facebook was
14 years, and that they were the thing.
Yes.
And the chomp, the Florida,
all
chomp. That, the Gator chomp.
I was all over Facebook whenever Facebook was like the thing.
Yeah.
All over it. Because we didn't have, I guess we had Twitter, but didn't really have Twitter. Didn't have anything else.
Jackson, your weather in Pittsburgh is going to be 60 degrees at the high and
That's
lows
nice.
53.
What?
Oh, that's great weather.
That's incredible.
All right. Well, we mentioned in Columbia, Missouri, it was going to be really good. So I guess it's flipping all across the country back to some really good
All
weather
right.
for this time of
Well,
year.
I guess
Nice.
I'll go to Pitt.
You going to Pitt?
I mean, I might as well. I mean, the only thing I know about them is Larry Fitzgerald.
Boy, hell of a player.
That's the only thing I need to know about them, though.
Hell of a player. No doubt. Unbelievable. I think it was Dave Wanstedt maybe that was able to sign him, but I'm not sure. Whoever was recruiting him did a heck of a job.
It hit.
Yeah.
All right, when you think of Pittsburgh Panthers outside of Larry Fitzgerald, what do you think of? Basketball?
Jerome Lane, maybe.
Okay.
Was it Jerome Lane that dunked the basketball and shattered the glass? I don't really think of Pitt. I think of Dan Marino.
Marino went to Pitt?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think of Jackie Sherrill, who had, some unbelievable teams at Pitt.
Golly, Jerome Lane.
So let's see. He took Johnny Major's place when Majors went to Tennessee. Sherrill went to Pitt and won big, and then went to A&M. And then he beat Texas too many times, 5 times in a row, and they had to trump up some stuff on him and get the NCAA down there and run him out of town. And A&M hasn't been the same until really this year. They've had a couple of small flashes in the pan.
All right.
The 11-win season with Johnny Manziel and the 8-1 COVID year with Jimbo, where I think they did get hosed with the playoff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Pitt, I think of Marino.
Jerome Lane.
What, was I right?
Dude, I just forgot how disgusting that was. And that was definitely Jerome Lane. Just completely
Curtis Martin.
Shattering.
Loved Curtis Martin. He was one of my favorite running backs. And, man, when you listen to Bill Parcells talk about coaching Curtis, think about all the great players Parcells coached.
Yeah, right.
Both as an assistant and a head coach. When he talked about coaching Curtis Martin at the Jets, it's unbelievable. You talk about a big-time teammate and player.
He was awesome.
They just couldn't quite turn the corner.
No.
And then Belichick said no and went to the Patriots. The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. And the Budweiser caller line is 601-707-3750. Budweiser, the king of beers. And enjoy one at Martin's in Livingston with some phenomenal gumbo. And I don't know. What do you want to do? A po' boy? You can go with some nachos. Whatever direction you want to go. What do you got there? Are you watching Jerome Lane?
Yeah, it's on repeat.
Was he number 34?
Yes. And he is just, how did he rip this rim out of there?
So Bo Jackson and Herschel were 34.
Correct.
Was something about that number for a time.
Charles Barkley, wasn't he 34?
Yeah.
Barkley was 34.
Sure was.
And those guys, that you got Herschel and Bo.
And Walter.
Yeah.
And Walter Payton was 34 for the Bears. That's right. But the fact that you went Herschel, Bo, Barkley, and there was some overlap there early to mid-'80s is really unbelievable.
Do you know who threw the assist to Jerome Lane?
Give me a hint. Is he an NBA player?
NCAA head basketball coach. Got in a little bit of a scandal as of recent. Yeah, last 10 years. Had no idea.
Willard?
Wildcat. Sean Miller.
Sean Miller. Yeah, he got into it at Arizona.
He did.
During all the wire tapes, right?
That's right, yeah.
Part of what got Will Wade, the great American gangster.
Yeah, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So
yeah, now Sean's at somewhere. Xavier?
Yes,
Is he back at Xavier?
He's working people.
Or do you get a big boy job? He's going to work his way back to Kelvin Sampson was able to cheat like nobody's business and go to the NBA as an assistant coach after getting run out of Indiana and Oklahoma for like 7,000 impermissible calls or whatever. and now he's killing it at Houston. I would think Sean Miller's going to.
He's at Texas.
Oh yeah, he got hired.
He's
at
at
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
When the bow tie guy went to Virginia Tech. That was a good hire. That was a good hire. I like this. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. One of our listeners on the Golden Moon Casino text line, Bo, do you think Manny Diaz will be courted? I absolutely believe that Manny could be courted. Yeah. I mean, Manny's won at Duke. He fell on his face. I mean, he fell on his face at Miami, but he learned.
He learned at Miami, yeah.
He's already been a defensive coordinator for years at the Power 4/5 level at Mississippi State, Texas, Mississippi State again. After getting fired from Miami, he went up to Penn State, did a great job up there for 2 years because they weren't moving the football like they should have on the offensive side of the ball. So there was a lot of pressure to basically keep teams in their teens to win. Yeah. And when you put that much pressure on a Manny Diaz or Clayton White at South Carolina or Brad White at Kentucky, and they do it, DJ Durkin did it time and time again the last 3 years for Auburn, held opponents under 21 points, you know you're good at what you do. So Manny Diaz has proven that he continues to get better, and I think he's done a good job at Duke. I think he understands he was open to the portal. I mean, of course, Duke's a private school. They have plenty of money if they ever wanted to really, really get in. It looks like they are trending that way. Elko did a good job. He's taken over. Elko's done a good job at A&M. Yeah, I could see Manny Diaz getting courted.
Should.
You know.
He's savvy with the media. I like him. I think he's really good.
Willie Fritz, according to several people, he's working the phones hard. He's kind of
he's a tweener.
Kurt Signetti in that he's in his 60s, in phenomenal shape. He would out bench press 99% of my listeners this morning.
Yeah.
Taking care of himself, has many more good years ahead of him. I don't know what he is, 63. You don't have to stay anywhere 6 or 7 years. If you get somebody for 3 to 5, and they win, you love them.
Yeah.
And pour beer on them.
Right.
But do that and maybe do that anyway. But yeah, Willie Fritz at Houston, he won at Tulane. He has won at Houston. Yeah. They have had a good year. He's done a good job. Manny Diaz, look, that's why when you hear people say, we can't make a move because there's so many job openings.
Weak.
That's absurd.
Losers.
There are good coaches all over the country. Nobody knew who Kurt Signetti was. Hell, in 1999, you didn't know who Nick Saban was. And in 2008, you didn't know who Dabo was, unless you unless you followed Alabama football when he was a wide receiver and Gene Stallings never threw the football and he caught 2 passes a year. Great story of a walk-on turned scholarship player at Alabama. But we didn't know who Urban Meyer was when he was at Bowling Green, and knew a little bit about him at Utah. But then, he said no to Notre Dame and went to Florida, and the rest is history.
You really didn't know who Charles Huff was until...
No.
Sean Payton.
A lot of people still don't know who Charles... We do,
they're about to find
because
out.
he went to Mississippi State for a year with Moorhead, because he went over to Bama with Saban for maybe 2 years or so. And then he went to Marshall, and now he's at Southern Miss, and he's winning, and he's now in the he's in the catbird seat in the Sun Belt race to the championship. So yeah, man, these are good. These are guys that are. They may not be that first look.
Right.
They're not going to be Lane, Brom.
Sure. Who is?
Maybe John Summerall. Maybe they should be in the Johnson. But anyway, the first guys Drink. I'm not. I think Drink's good. I don't know if I would just run to the door to sign him, but I have to also acknowledge that they've been able to land some players. So, and that's what it's all about.
Did they pony up though?
He's got the billionaire up there, and then that guy recruited some of his other buddies. But yeah, the billionaire jumped in. He's worth like $8 or $9 billion.
Yeah,
we remember we looked it up a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Manny, there's no reason why Manny Diaz can't be a really good coach the rest of his life. There's no reason why Willie Fritz can't win somewhere. He won at Tulane. He's winning with the Houston Cougars. Jackson loves Cougars.
I do.
And he especially loves to go down to Beagle Bagel about an hour ago when the first Orange Theory wave comes through. And he just goes down there to make sure he's getting another Sprite.
I should have went to Northwest Rankin.
Well, there you go.
I did.
Okay. Well, Wes did for you. So there you go.
All right. Big Cougs.
And Jeff McClaskey coached there for
He did.
a million years and did an unbelievable job.
Golly.
Yeah, Manny D. Look, when you hear people say, well, you can't go get a coach this year because there's too many openings.
Duh.
But is it because we say the same four guys over and over, and obviously they're either not going to move or they're going to take some of the better jobs like Lane and Brom?
Yeah, that's only 4 of them.
There's plenty of good coaches out there. If you both at the Power 4 and G5 level, there are good, like we just mentioned, Huff.
Right.
Dan Mullen's in the G5.
That's correct.
So there are guys winning that are doing everything they can with the assets and resources they have
right.
to win games on Saturday. And you don't have to go 11-1 to be in the mix to get hired.
No.
There are some of these programs where guys are winning 6 or 7 games and you're like, damn, that dude can coach.
The White
depending
Russian
on
down at South Florida, Alex.
Yeah, so Golish, I'd still may need to see a little
Hesitant,
more,
yeah,
but he's turning it around there. Jed Fish is at Washington. Look, his whole goal in life was to work with Steve Spurrier at Florida. He ended up down in Gainesville. He's an interesting case study. He was at Arizona, as you know, and now he's at Washington.
He claims he's staying pat as of
I know.
yesterday.
But
2 days ago.
Guys say a lot of things.
They sure do.
So do women.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? Things change on a daily, weekly basis. Today, I could think this.
Yeah.
Next week, I may not.
Would
That's
you-
simple.
If you were
in
Jed-
sports, we don't like that for whatever reason.
No.
We don't like for a guy could be sitting here today thinking, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Next week, he may be thinking, now this is what I'm going to do. It's the human mind. Predicting it, impossible. Absolutely and totally impossible. You don't even know what your closest people around you are thinking minute to minute, day to day. You have no idea. So I like Manny Diaz. I like Willie Fritz. And we still have to see what Penn State's, we haven't taught because we are biased, and that's fine. We have mentioned Florida and LSU so much.
Yeah.
We kind of forgot about Arkansas, but Auburn. Look, if Auburn locks in on Brent Key and John, so Brent Key is doing amazing things at Georgia Tech. I could see Brent Key getting in a room with John Cohen,
Working.
and John Cohen falling in love with that. Just knowing John and Brent being able to really put on a show. If Brent wants to leave his alma mater of Georgia Tech, which he probably does. I don't know, but you may have a ceiling. You may not. I don't know in the new world of college football, but I think you do. I still think a lot of these teams have ceilings, but their ceiling was raised a little bit with NIL.
Sure.
Indiana, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, and so on. Missouri. Others. All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show. Brought to you by the Pork Rind Nachos at Martin's in Livingston. And pair it with a Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Gumbo and Michelob Ultra. That's a winning combo.